Hi friends, I'm Mukesh Kumar. Today we will learn Azure Virtual Network Routes. In Azure, there are two types of virtual network routes. One is system routes, other is user-defined route. Basically, the routes defined in the Azure Virtual Network decides how the traffic flows. The system routes defined by Azure decides how the traffic flows from virtual machine to the other virtual machine. This can be inside a subnet, and the traffic can flow from one subnet to another subnet within the virtual network, or it can flow from one virtual network to other, or sometime from Azure Virtual Network to on-premise, and the vice versa. Whenever the need is to override the system-defined route, then we can create user-defined route, which we sometimes call custom routes as well. So you can create the custom route or user-defined routes in Azure to override the Azure default routes. When you define the route, you have to define the next hop and the subnet on which you want to apply the rules. We'll see in a minute, but for now, let's go for the theory part. So there are 5 types of next hop you can define in virtual network routing, in the custom routing. So one is a virtual appliance, which is a virtual machine. So for example, you want to transfer all the traffic from one subnet to another one through a virtual machine, then you use the virtual appliance. The other one is virtual network gateway. If you don't want to define, if you don't want your traffic to forward anywhere, then you just say none. And virtual network also, and the internet. You can divert traffic to any IP address or any site. So this is a typical scenario, subnet A and subnet B. Subnet A has some machine and subnet B has some machines. Let's say this is a web tier and this is database tier. The web application wants to talk to database, and similarly database wants to talk to web tier. But we don't want this communication happen directly. We have to have a virtual machine that acts as an intermediate machine between these two subnets. So all the outbound traffic from subnet A to B will be passed through this network virtual appliance, which is a virtual machine. And this defines inside a subnet. So let's have a demo. In the demo, we'll having one virtual network and 3 subnets. So one subnet name is WebSubnet, the other one is DatabaseSubnet, and the third one is NetworkVirtualApplianceSubnet. Then we will create a 3 VMs, WebServer, DatabaseServer, and Network VM, Network VA, basically virtual appliance. Then we will have to enable the ping, which is ICMP protocol enabling in all of the virtual machines so that we can establish the communication between the virtual machines. By default, Windows Firewall disable the ICMP protocol. And then we have to enable the IP forwarding from the network interface of the network virtual appliance machine IP address, machine NIC and NIC. And also we have to enable the same IP forwarding inside the VM, which is a network virtual appliance. And once all the setup is done, then we will log in into the web VM and then try to tracer the database VM. We'll see the traffic is being passed through the network virtual appliance. So here I have created all the resources so that we can save our time. But let me walk through what I've done already. So here we can see one VNet under the resource group lab. This VNet has got 3 subnets. Subnet 1, which I say as a web tier, subnet 2, which is a database tier, and then virtual appliance subnet. This is just a name I've given, but there's no naming convention defined, so you can give your own naming. So all the 3 subnets defined. Then I have virtual machines created, same web VM under the subnet 1. That's why the address is 1 here. Database tier, database virtual machine, which is under the subnet database, which is 2, and virtual appliance machine, which is defined as 3, which is kept into the network virtual appliance subnet. Next, we have to go to enable the IP forwarding. So go to the NIC of the Network Virtual Appliance Virtual Machine, and then go to configuration. Make sure that IP forwarding is enabled. Okay. So here is all the three machines I've already logged in: database VM, virtual appliance VM, and web VM. So database VM name is database VM1. Let's copy this name. And tracer. So you can see the traffic diverted to 3.4, which is our network virtual appliance machine, and then traffic diverted to 10.0.2.5. Note that by default, the trace cert is not enabled in any of the VM, so you have to enable it by running a command. This New-NetFirewall display allow this. Okay, I'll share this command in the video. So this is how our routing is happening now. We can see from web tier to database tier, it travels through the network virtual appliance. If you don't enable the forwarding, the traffic will be trapped and your traffic will not be directed into the database VM. If you like the video, please share it, or please like it, and please press the bell icon to subscribe it. Thank you.